seminar. My name is Dirts Pēkals. I'm Managing Director of Baywa Baltic Solar Systems SIA. I'm sitting in Riga, Latvia. Today we have two presenters, Yaroslav. What is family name, Yaroslav? It's
Kocurek.
Kocurek. Yaroslav Kocurek. He is Vice President Eastern Europe and located in Czech Republic. Then we have one presenter, Kaspars Prūsis, who is our battery team leader and manager for Baltic countries. And Clary, you will also tell something, or you will listen also only?
I'm also the speaker. I will introduce our solution, 25 to 50 kilowatt, and some scenarios. Good. Yeah.
Okay. Then I very shortly want to show a little bit our website. For those who is familiar here, you can see there's you can log in, log out. Just for using. If you forget password, write your email, and if you have been once inside, we will send you a password. If you are not registered, make you new registration. After registration,
it's black screen.
Black screen, yeah.
Black screen, yeah.
Why you didn't tell us, man? A moment. I will share one more time. Did you see now?
Yeah.
Yes.
On the top here, it's sign in. You see your name. You can search by manufacturers. Here's the manufacturers. You can search by product groups like photovoltaic modules, manufacturers. You can choose manufacturers. We have ICO, J, Solar, Jinko, Solinteg, Trina in stock. Here you can find the prices and types, and if you go more detail, you can find technical information adjust here. And inverters, accessories, for example, inverters. We have a few pieces of N-phase. Fronius is solid represent in our warehouse in good quantities. We have a Goodvi, we have Huawei, SMA, SolarEdge, Solax, Solinteg. Solinteg we see now it's available in our warehouse, or all is sold. You can see also on track, if you put your mouse on track, you see what quantities will arrive. You can see your prices. And if you go more detail, you can go in technical information. We have in the Riga team with 13 people. Totally, we are 15 people, 2 people in Kaunas. Domantas is team leader for Lithuanian market, sitting in Kaunas. Olegas, sales manager located in Vilnius, and rarely working from home office and mostly visiting Kaunas and working from Kaunas. We have office in Tallinn. Melis Ott is our team leader in Tallinn, Estonia. We have also office there. And yeah, in Riga, Maskavas 495, or it will be rechange the name, Latgale Street. It will be. We don't like Maskava anymore. We like Latgale. And that's from my side. That's it. I give Yaroslav, it's your turn. Go ahead. And one thing, if you have a question, just raise the hand like this. You see, I raise the hand. We will unmute you and you can ask any question. You are warm welcome. And Yaroslav, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Actually, before I'm gonna tell some words. So Dirts already introduced me. My name is Kaspars Prūsis, Business Development Manager here at Baywa Baltic. I'm going to be the host of the meeting. So if you have any questions, I would advise to use Q&A section as well. I put an image in our chat. Where can you find it? So if you have specific question, put it in Q&A, and either I or Yaroslav will try to answer that in our presentations or after the presentations are over. So do not hesitate to ask your questions. Yep, thank you. That's it from my side. The floor is yours, Yaroslav.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Kaspars, and thank you, Geert, for the introduction. And now we will start with the Solinteg introduction. Yeah. So I will share my screen. I hope it will work. Yeah, okay. Also, I will start about Solinteg. Also, Solinteg, we are a young company, and our main topic is what we are always saying is integrate solar intelligently. That means we are trying to integrate the solar energy very intelligently, because before there was just on-grid inverters and there was not very smart, but we see that with coming new type of hybrid inverter and with the energy storages, the inverter must be much more smart and much more intelligent. And this is what we are trying. We are trying to build a very smart hybrid inverters with many functions and to optimize the usage of the solar energy. So we will start, here is the content. We will start with the information about the company, then about the products, then about our solution, and then last things will be our strategy. Okay, we are starting with the company. I was too fast. Okay, this is our global network of Solinteg. We have offices around the world. The main global headquarters is in Wuxi in China. There is also the production facilities and R&D team. Or European center is in Germany, in Munich, and we have also Solinteg lab in Brno in Czech Republic. Yeah, I'm from the Brno, from Czech Republic, so I'm responsible for this lab as well. Yeah, so in the lab in Brno, we are doing trainings and some testing of the devices, and we are trying to improve the devices. We have also warehouses in the Netherlands. Also, we have two warehouses, one for the batteries, one for the inverter. Now we will move forwards to our product portfolio. Also, we call it more product portfolio, where each alphabet has some meaning. Also, the Intec M means a power master, which are our hybrid inverter. The Intec O means the operator, that are the on-grid inverter. The Intec R means the power reader, which are our EMS devices and smart meters and Wi-Fi and Duocom dongles. And the Intec O means the power extender, which are our battery solution. Okay, we have developed own platform. This is similar to the car. Also, this platform helps us to develop the devices much more faster, and it's very easy for us to extend the devices. This is also the reason why we have a very broad portfolio of the devices. Also, we have devices from 3 to 50 kilowatt of hybrid inverters. Also, this is quite unique. Nobody other have it. Yeah. Now we will switch to the products. We will start with our hybrid inverters. We have hybrid inverters, single phase from 3 to 8 kilowatt with charging current for the battery 30 amps. Then we have a three-phase inverters from 4 to 12 kilowatt with charging and discharging current for the battery 25 amps. We have then next range of the inverter. These are the three-phase 10 to 20 kilowatt with charging and discharging current 40 amps. And now we will come to our CNI solution. These are the 50 kilowatts inverter in the range 25 to 50 kilowatts with the charging and discharging current for the battery 100 amps. This is our Intec M Advanced. That means enhanced energy management That means you can use better your self-consumption of the energy because all the inverter has unbalanced output, and this helps to increase your self-consumption. The inverters has also engineered for visibility. That means we have a flexible battery range, flexible backup output. The inverter has IP65 and are ready for extended up to 10 devices parallel. Also about the parallel connection, you will get more information for Claire when she speaks about the commercial solution. The inverter also simplified integration. That means you can see and monitor all the status of the inverter. And also intelligent energy dynamics, where you can set, we have 5 working modes where you can set the different working modes and cover different scenarios. You will get more information then in the future about the products. Now we started with our 110% unbalanced output. This is very important in some countries like Czech Republic and also in the Baltic countries when you have zero export to the grid, yeah, or when you are really measuring each phase separately. You see this is on the first picture on the top picture. You see how it looks like when you have inverter with 100%, 110% unbalanced output, and the power export limit is on. That means you cannot export any energy to the grid. And you see on the phase 1, yeah, you have the consumption 0.5 kilowatt. On the phase 2, you have consumption 1.3 kilowatt, and on the phase 3, you have consumption 2.2 kilowatts, and the production of the PV is 6 kilowatt. And you see you cover all these consumptions, and you are exporting zero to the grid and taking no energy from the grid, and you are saving 2 kilowatts to the battery. In case you have another brand of hybrid inverter which doesn't have unbalanced output, that means you cannot export any energy. On the phase 2, you have consumption, again, the same scenario, 0.5 kilowatts. And when you have on the second phase consumption 1.3 and the third phase 2.2 kilowatt, you see you have to buy electricity from the grid on the second phase 0.8 kilowatt and the third phase 1.7 kilowatt. Also that means you have not optimal usage of the energy in this case. Okay, now about our inverter, about the powerful performance capabilities. Also you can oversize the PV size 100 or 160%. That means the energy will not go lost because you can use all the energy from the PV modules. Even if this 10 kilowatts inverter and you oversize it at 15 kilowatts, the inverter can still feed 10 kilowatts to the grid and 5 kilowatts to the battery. On the battery side, we have high current charging and discharging possibility. That means we can very quickly charge the battery and use the electricity, the extent electricity is stored to the battery. On the grid side, we have smart export limitation, and on the backup side, the inverter has integrated backup output, and on the backup side, we need 10 to 20 milliseconds for switching to UPS mode. Also 10 milliseconds is for the inverter 4 to 20 kilowatts and 20 milliseconds for the inverter 25 to 50 kilowatts. You can also overload the backup output at 110%. The same is on the AC side, on grid side. The inverter can work in various scenarios. On the first picture, you can see the AC retrofit, so you have already some installation with on-grid inverters, and you can just add the hybrid inverter without connection to the PV modules, just as AC retrofit for the storage of the energy. This is the first picture. Also on the second picture is similar, is also without PV modules, it's just PV ready. On the third picture, you can see this is the battery ready. That means the hybrid inverter can work also without battery, and even in this case, can the inverter work asymmetry. That means they can provide a unbalanced output. And the inverter can also work at 100% in off-grid mode without problems. That means without grid. Here you see that our inverter has unmatched compatibility. That means we are compatible with all type of new PV modules. Also we have high PV current input. We have bright battery voltage, also from 135 volts to 755 volts. And we also support many external EMS, because we can provide to the customers the description of the Modbus protocol, and we are supporting not just Modbus RTU, but also Modbus TCP. This is how is easy the installation. Also, we are always thinking that all the inverters must be easy to install, because this is very important for the installers. So all the inverter has also not just, you cannot not just application, but also still a display and a button. So you can do all the settings on the button, and you can read the main information on the display as well. But you can also do all the settings on your phone in the application or over the web portal. All the connectors are quick connect terminals. That means the installation is very fast. We have also highlight status indicator. This is the flashing lights which you see. Also when it's a quick flashing, it means the inverter is in self-test. When it's slow flashing, the inverter is in waiting, and when it's bright flashing, the inverter works normally. When this color change to yellow, that means there is a battery warning, has a low battery warning. When it's always red, it means the inverter has some problem, also it's in a fault alarm. Here is again all snapshots about our hybrid inverter, also from the single phase to the three phases already described. The Claire will tell you more about the 50 kilowatts inverter. Maybe one important thing for the inverter 10 to 20 kilowatts and 25 to 50 kilowatts, this inverter has maximum input current for MPPT 30 amps, so you can connect really any kind of solar modules. All the other inverters has 15 amps per input. This is still enough. We have also on-grid inverters, 1.5 to 3.3 kilowatt single phase, then from 3.6 to 6 kilowatts single phase, and then from 5 to 25 kilowatts three-phase inverter. We are also planning bigger products, so that means three-phase inverters 30 to 60 and 80 to 150 kilowatts. This will come soon. Here our advantage about the inverter. That means the inverter has high efficiency. They have wide compatibility due to wide voltage. They have simplified control. That means all the inverter has also display and also you can monitor it with your phone, with the application, and all inverter are plug and play terminals, so easy to install. You can see also that the inverter are very light. Also for the 25 kilowatts, the inverter has just 24 kilograms. Also it's very light. It's one of the lightest inverter on the market. Here we have our EMS devices. Also we have own smart meter. We have own Duocom dongle, and now we are preparing also data logger. We can also provide a 4G dongle on cases that you doesn't have any connection to the internet, just the mobile internet, so you can use our 4G internet dongle. Okay, this is some basic information about our Solinteg cloud. Also, if you can ask, you can get also a demo access. Through the Solinteg cloud, you can make all settings of the inverter. You can monitor the inverter. You can do a remote upgrade of the inverter. You can make also some checking of the installation. That means you can make the checking of the smart meter. And you can also do the setting of intelligent load control. We are preparing new monitoring platform. This will have much more functions. There will be also the battery monitoring included and also open API. So it means you can use then for controlling the inverter API. This is our solution. Also we have two solutions. One, this is the residential energy solution. You can see here is a picture of some standard installation. You have PV modules connected, you have battery connected. On the backup load, you have some backup load connected. Then you can have some smart load connected, where you can use, or inverter has digital and analog outputs, so you can control the external devices through the digital or analog outputs. You can use it for controlling some heat pumps or some boiler or some similar devices. You can also connect some on-grid devices, and in the future we are planning some integration of EV charger. So this will come very soon, the integration of EV chargers. Here you see again the optimizing of the smart control. Also we are SG ready. Also we are working with heat pumps which are SG ready. We can control them, and also we can control some other load like a boiler through just digital output. The advantages, you can set, for example, some scenario when the battery SOC is higher than 90%, you can switch this dry contact on and switch some boiler and switch them when the SOC value drop under 70%. So this is very easy and many of customers are using it. We have also a commercial solution, which is the Park One. As you can see, is a decentralized energy solution. On the inverter side, you can connect up to 10 inverters parallelly. That means maximal output 500 kilowatt, and on the battery side, you can connect to each inverters. I think when you are using Solinteg batteries M1, M2, and 3, you can connect to one inverter about 100 kilowatts, so you can make quite a big storage and powerful storage just with easy inverters. The connection, the prior connection of the inverters is very easy. You doesn't need to buy any special devices. You just connect the master inverter via Modbus to the smart meter. and then connect the inverter together over CAN bus. This is very easy and works very well. This replaced the traditional ECC solution, which was always very complicated because you have had always some on-grid inverter on and off-grid switch, some PCS and some EMS devices, and now is everything integrated in one inverter, which means it's much easier to install and also much cheaper and make the economic investment more effective. This is all battery compatibility. Also, we have own battery, but we are also compatible with many batteries. You see with Solinteg, with the Power Cube, with the Force H1, H2, and also with Dynes, Vico, Soluna, Sunwoda, and Lithium Valley. This is now something about our strategy. Also, this is picture from our Brno office or European lab. You see, also this is the training room where we have all the inverters and where we're doing training almost every week. And we have also some laboratory equipment for testing the inverters. Also, you see here on the second picture the DC sources, and we are planning to get also some AC simulator, also grid simulator. So we can do a lot of testing and we can show the customer a lot of cases of working with the hybrid inverters. This is our product roadmap, what will come in the future. Also, just now we are planning, also our main products for the future will be the hybrid inverter. Also we are planning a new hybrid inverter up to 100 kilowatts, which will come on beginning of the next year. I think this will be the most interesting product for everyone. Yeah, and also the three-phase inverter, 15 to 30 kilowatts, to have something in the range between the 20 and 50 kilowatts inverter. We are also planning the on-grid inverter up to 150 kilowatts, new EMS devices, as already I told you, new EV charger and new battery. And we also planning now to start our new Solinteg Cloud 2.0. Here's about our certificates. Also, we have all necessary certificate for the Baltic country. So you can use all inverter without any problems. So maybe some highlights about Solinteg, or 40% of the R&D staff are in R&D. The budget for R&D is 15%. We have 8,000 square meters of the R&D facility. Just now we have production for the hybrid inverter about 4 gigawatts. We are planning to extend it up to 10 gigawatts. And also we are planning to start battery production in Europe, in Germany next year. We have two big investors. Also, one is the TCL. Also, I think it's a quite famous brand. Maybe you know it from the TV screen production, but TCL is doing a lot of things. And also our second investor is the Dreammaker, which is the heat pump producer. Here are some cases from the installation. You can see in the middle, in the top, is one container solution where when the installer put 12 inverters parallel on a container and the battery was inside. And on the left side, we have a parallel connection of two 10 kilowatts inverter, and many cases from Czech Republic mostly. Also the container solution is from Netherlands. Okay, thank you for your attention, and now the Claire will follow.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your. Okay.
Yeah,
let me share that.
Maybe there are some questions for Yaroslav, so we don't let him off so easily.
Okay.
So Any questions from the public? Then I'll start with one question. So in the example project you showcased, I saw Tesla Powerwalls.
Oh, yeah, but they are not used with the inverter. There was just installation, and we just extended with all inverters and with Soluna batteries.
Okay, got it. Would be a nice combination. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Maybe one more from my side. So to get people more active. So for those who do not know, you mentioned that you have data loggers. So can you please tell what's the difference between data logger and these 4G or Wi-Fi sticks? What's the difference between them?
Okay, so the dongle is just sending the data to the cloud, but our new EMS device, also the data logger is still not. Also we are preparing own data logger product, and this will be much more smart, and it will have much more outputs for controlling external devices, and it will have some logic also inside.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the public, Yaroslav? Three, two, one. Okay. Then thank you, Yaroslav, for your presentation, and we can move forward. And I give floor to Claire.
Thank you. So now let me share my screen. Okay. I just share my screen with you guys. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it.
You can see my screen, but I cannot see my screen. What's going on? Let me check.
You're gonna have to tell it by heart.
Let me have a look. How about now? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So, welcome you guys to attend our webinar holding by the Baywa Baltic. It's a great honor to have the chance to give the speech about Solinteg's commercial energy storage solution. Now, let's get started. My presentation will be divided into 6 parts. Their overview, key features, company batteries, system solutions, work modes, and a case study. In the beginning, we can see actually Solinteg 25 kilowatt inverter is actually designed for the commercial and industrial projects. So we have a very wide power range, including 25 kilowatt, 30 kilowatt, 36, 40, and 50 kilowatts, which offer customer greater flexibility. And paired with our smart meter, our inverter can realize the 24 hours monitoring, load monitoring, and also intelligent power export limitation. And with the 110% AC overloading and continuously, and the 150% AC overloading for 60 seconds, we can ensure energy security for the critical loads when the power grid goes off. And we support up to 150% PV oversizing, which enable the inverter to connect more PV panels to supply the load and the battery at the same time. And integrated with more than 10 types of protections, our inverter can operate stable, smooth, and safer, and provide a good user experience. And here is the application of the paralleling connection. It's on-grid paralleling connection, and you can see Currently, we support up to 10 pieces paralleling connection, which can extend our system from 25 kilowatts to 500 kilowatts, make our inverter can be used in the bigger residential, small commercial, or even the industrial applications. And we also support 4 pieces off-grid parallel connection now, and further in the near future, we will extend the off-grid parallel connection up to 10 pieces. This function can be realized at the end of the Q2, so around end of the June. So we will support 10 pieces of off-grid paralleling connection, and paired with our compatible battery vehicle, our inverter can connect the battery capacity up to 1.7 megawatt hours. So this also can ensure the inverter to be used in the industrial project. And here you can see our inverter can be used in different applications like villas, factories, malls, industrial parks, schools, or farms like that. And the second part is talking about the key features of our inverter. And we can see we divided our key features into 6 aspects. We are talking about the key features from the powerful aspect, the high efficiency, the strong backup, and the smart energy management, and user-friendly and the full security protection. All these features will be talked into detail in the following slides. And this slide shows the 100% PV oversizing, which can provide the customer more power to supply the loads and charge the battery at the same time. We can see this is a 50 kilowatt inverter. We can have 75 kilowatt panels on the top. So 50 can be used to supply the load, another 25 to charge the battery. So it's very efficient. And we also have 2 versions of the 25 to 50 kilowatt inverter. One version equipped with 2 MPPTs and another version equipped with 4 MPPTs. So for the 4 MPPT is a normal version, and the 2 MPPT is a plus version. The normal version with 4 MPPTs can optimize the PV exercise. As we know, in Europe countries, many rooftops just like this, they have 4 orientations. So customers want to install the panels from different orientation. The 4 MPPT inverter can make the more PV power generation in this case. And we also have a wider MPPT power range from 200 voltage to 850 voltage. This can enable the inverter to be flexibly connected to more panels. And this is 850. And we also have excellent compatibility for the PV panels due to the large PV input current. We support the PV input current from 15 amperes to 13 amperes. So this makes our inverter compatible with the mainstream technology of the solar panels like PERC, TOPCon, HJT, HPBC, BC, etc. And we also compatible with panels from the power 450 to 670, and even for the newest PV panels with the 700 watts, we also can connect it. We also have a solution for that. And this part we will talk into detail in the following slides. Now here you can see this is our solution for different PV panels exercise. And for the normal 15 amperes PV panel, we can directly connect it to the PV strings of our inverter. Here you can see this is a 4 MPPT version inverter. There are 2 PV inputs in each MPPT. So just to connect all the PV strings to every PV string, so we can support a 15 amperes PV connection. And if the customer they use bifacial panels or some high power panels with the PV output current over 15 amperes, so they can have another solution. Like this one. So this one is another version inverter with only 2 MPPTs. the customer and each MPPT has 4 PV strings. That makes the whole MPPT have the maximum input current up to 60 amperes. So we can connect 3 PV strings to each MPPT. So this makes we can connect totally 6 PV strings in this inverter, and the maximum input current for each PV string is 20 amperes. Yeah, and in the future, if there are even higher PV panels, we still have another solution. So that the customer can use the 4 MPPT version inverter and just use one of the PV string in one MPPT to connect PV panels with output current up to 30 amperes, like this. Yeah. So this is our tailored solution for the different PV panels connection. And we also support a very intelligent function like shadow scan. And this function is very useful in the situation that there is a shading problems on the rooftops. As we know, normally if there is no shading problem, the power curve of the solar panels is like the pure sine curve. It's like this, only have 1 MPP point. But if there is a shading problems, the curve of the PV will have more peaks, not only 1. And if the inverter they don't support the shadow scan function, their inverter may always track the low MPPT. They could defend the global MPPT, and the global MPPT usually is higher than the low MPPT. But for Solinteg solution, customer can turn on the shadow scan function on the display or the application. So after this function is turned on, the inverter can automatically search for the global MPPT in every 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes. This depends on the customer selection on the application or the display. So this can ensure the inverter always track the global MPPT in the shading situation, and will have more power generation compared with others don't have the shadow scan function. So we also, for this series inverter 2550, we support 100% unbalanced output. And for the other series like 4 to 20 series, we support up to 110% unbalanced output, which my colleague Yaroslav just explained before. So here we can see a case. On the right side is an inverter without the unbalanced output. We can see different loads connected in different phase. The first phase is 5 kilowatts, and the second one 10, third one 15. So if they don't support the unbalanced output, so every phase they will output the same power. That makes the first phase they need to sell 5 kilowatt to the inverter. We assume that the country allow the power to go to the grid, so we will sell 5 kilowatt to the grid. And for the third phase, we needed to buy 5 kilowatt from the grid. And we know some countries the power goes to the grid maybe free of charge. The utility company won't give you any payback, or sometimes they give you very low tariff. But the power we're taking from grid is usually very expensive. So this will increase the customer and electricity bills, and also lead to the power waste owing to the export, the power export for free. And for Solinteg solution, we support unbalanced output. In the same situation, we can exactly output the power according to the load consumption. So in this case, we don't need to buy any power from the grid or sell any power to the grid. So we can optimize the load power supply and reduce the bills, and limit the export power based on the demand, and maximize the system utilization. This function is very useful in the country. They have the measuring each phase independently, like Czech Republic, also some Baltic countries. And for talking about the battery charging and discharging current, we have a battery charging discharging point with the maximum input with the maximum current goes to 100 amperes. If the customer they want to connect the same capacity battery, the other solution maybe have two 15 amperes battery charging discharging current. They have to connect the two clusters battery, and we only connect to one. You know, for two cluster battery, customer have to buy two BMS, two basements. So this will cost you more money, and the battery capacity is smaller than our inverters. You can see this one is 100 amperes and this one is 200 ampere hours. So we all know that the bigger the power, the lower price for each watt. Yeah. And we also have we also provide some protections for the customer from many different aspects. The first one is the UPS level switching over. So if there always have the power grid outage problems, the inverter supports less than 20 millisecond on-off switch. This can enable the power smoothly goes to the backup side to support the critical loads when the power goes off. And we also integrate the Type 2 surge protection on the DC and AC side. So this can avoid the inverter to be damaged on the lightning weather. Yeah. And connecting with the external emergency button with our inverter, we can realize the emergency stop function. If there is an accident occurred in the inverter installation place, we can press a button to immediately stop the inverter AC power generation. But this is a little bit different compared with RSD function. RSD is a requirement from the Americans. They require the system to directly reduce the PV strings voltage down to 80 voltage after clink. For that, if you want to realize this function, we have a solution. Is you can use Teggle's optimizer. We already finished our compatibility with Teggle's optimizer. And for some countries, they have continuously power unstable problem or power outage problems, like South Africa. Or maybe some installations in the rural areas like the island or the mountain. We have another energy security solution. It's a diesel generator. We can connect the diesel generator with our inverter to supply the loads when the power grid goes out and the PV power is insufficient. Battery power down reduced to a very low level, like 25%. When the battery power reduced to 25%, more than 10 minutes, the diesel generator will start work to supply the loads. And when the battery's SOC goes back to 50%, in more than 5 minutes, this generator will stop working, because at that time there are enough power in the battery. Battery power can be used to supply the loads. And this is the first step of the batteries management. This is the first step of the diesel generators management. And we are now working on the second step. We use the diesel generator to charge the battery when the power grid goes off. So this function will be available around the end of the October 2, maybe the beginning of October 3, yeah. And we also have a smart load management function. With this function, we can control the loads like the smart loads like heat pump, water heater, the tower racks, all the smart loads that they have the DI connector, we can control it. So we can control it through the applications and also the inverter display. And here we will have a detailed introduction for how to control the heat pump through this function. We support 3 ways of the control of the heat pump. The first one is using the excess power to control the heat pump. We can set the threshold for the excess power you want to activate the heat pump. So, for example, if you set the power like 1 kilowatt, when the system detects the power goes to the grid more than 1 kilowatt, the inverter will activate the heat pump to let the heat pump start generating water or start heating the room. And when the power goes to the grid less than 1 kilowatt, according to the value you set, the inverter will stop the heat pump, and then the heat pump will go into the warm preservation mode. And we can also control the heat pump according to battery's SOC value. So when the SOC value is in the high level, like 80%, we can use the battery power to activate the heat pump. And when the battery power down to 40%, we can deactivate the heat pump. So this value can be set on the application. And we can also control the heat pump according to your lifestyle habits. So, for example, if you usually use the hot water in the evening after work, so you can preset the start time of the heat pump before you come back to the home. And you can also manually control the heat pump working or not remotely by just clicking the on/off button on the application. And as we know, in some countries, I think in Czech Republic and also in some North Europe countries, they now using the dynamic electricity price. So consider this situation more and more popular. Now we are working on a new function, which is automatic switch on the power limit function when the electricity price goes to negative. For example, we can see this picture from the 9 o'clock to the 4 p.m. The electricity from the utility company is negative. If we still export power to the grid at this period, we may get to be punished from the utility company. We may have to pay some money to the utility company for the power we're exporting to the grid. It's ridiculous. So in this period, our system can automatically turn on the power export limit function to stop the inverter to export power to the grid. This function is under development and will be available in this May. Yeah, in this May. And this EMS function of our inverter, we have been compatible with many famous EMS company in European countries like Solinteg from Switzerland, Checkwatt from Sweden, Lexon from Italy, and MC from Germany. So if you want our inverter to compare with some other EMS companies in your country or in your region, you can also tell us your requirements, and we will put this in our list to do the compatibility in the near future. And at that time, you can not only use Solinteg's inverter and a system to control to manage and control your whole energy system. You can also use a third-party device with Solinteg's energy storage system to control your whole energy system. And this slide talking the user friendly of our inverter. First, we have the iLight. This iLight can identify the inverter working status just at a glance. Different colors have different meanings. And we also have an OLED display, which can be used to track and configure the inverter parameter. And another side is our inverter is quite compact compared with other 60 kilowatt hybrid inverter. Here you can see our inverter is a mounted style inverter. We only weigh like 72 kilograms. And this one is another 50 kilowatt hybrid inverter, but it's tower style. This inverter with 250 kilowatts. So during the installation, we need the leaf fork to move this inverter. But for Solinteg, 2 or 3 people can hang on the inverter onto the wall. And Solinteg also have its own management system, as I mentioned before. And this system is developed by our own team, not from the third party. As you may know, some even big companies, they still use a third party management platform. Yeah, but for Solinteg, we have our own. We have one monitoring portal and 2 applications. This is a generation 1 management platform. We can offer the following benefits for the customer, like the intelligent energy management and failure detect and the failure analysis. And we can also do the remote control, like the remotely modify the parameter of the inverter, upgrading firmware of the inverter. This can save a lot of time for the installers for the maintenance, and also can quickly repair the customer the inverter, or avoid the customer to have some power waste or power loss. And we also support the breaking point resuming function. What does this mean? So sometimes the customer may go on a vacation, they turn off their router, and in this time the inverter is still working. The power inverter generated cannot be sent to the server because the router is turned off. But we can see the data generated during this time in our inverter. When the router turn on, when the people come back from the vacation, they turn on the router, all the data saved in the inverter can be uploaded to the server at once. So the information of the inverter generation will be looks continuously. We don't have any breakpoint. And we also support the organization management of your plant and your organizations. This part we will talk about more in the Solinteg Monitor Platform introduction. And one more news I want to share with you is that we are working on the 2nd generation monitor platform. For the 2nd generation monitor platform will be released to the market in May. That one have more functions compared to generation 1. I can tell you some of it. Like we can realize we can schedule the upgrading on the new version. So sometimes the customer maybe they don't want to upgrade firmware in the working time, because if the inverter is generating power with doing the firmware upgrading, after upgrading the inverter will restart, and this will take about 5 to 10 minutes. In this 5 to 10 minutes, customer don't have any power generation, so they can schedule the power generation at night. So this won't influence their power generation. So and also we can realize the different levels of management on the new version. I won't tell too much about this part because we have to publish the new version. Anyway, we have the new version will be ready soon. So before we release to the market, we will do a webinar or something which show you more about the new version monitor platform. And next part is compatible batteries, and currently we are compatible with this brand, but this is because this presentation is made last year, so there are some new batteries we already compatible, not listed in this presentation. So for the latest batteries brand we are compatible, we can check with our service department or go to our website to download the compatibility list. And here we can see our combination with Solinteg. We can have the battery capacity from 14 kilowatt hours up to 580 kilowatt hours. And for the compatibility with Dennis in battery, we can have the power we can have the battery capacity from 7 kilowatt hours up to 800 kilowatt hours. And for the compatibility with the vehicle's battery, we can have the battery capacity configuration from 20 kilowatt hours up to 1.7 megawatt hours. And for the compatibility with Luna, we can have the battery capacity from 15 kilowatt hour up to 150 kilowatt hours. And for the combination with Solinteg and the Lithium Valley, we can have the battery capacity from 10 to 344 kilowatt hours. And for the Swanda, we can from 5 kilowatt hour to 200 kilowatt hours. We are now working with some other European battery brands like BMZ, SolMD, and Farm. Yeah, so in the future, we are not only compatible with Chinese brand batteries, we're also compatible with European battery brand. Also, one more news I want to share with you: we are also working with LG for the battery compatibility test. So next part is the system solution. So we can see our inverter can be used on different situations, like the very basic situation on grid. Yeah, this part just we all know that. No need to talk too more about it. And we can also be used in a purely off-grid situation. In this situation, if you have a battery connected, and so inverter can working smoothly for a very long time. In the daytime, the PV power to generation the DC to go to the inverter, and the inverter converted to the AC to supply the loads. If there excess power, it can be used to charge the battery. And in the night, battery discharge to supply the loads. And then we also can be used in the AC coupling situation. For the AC coupling situation, if the customer they use Solinteg on-grid inverter, we can realize the power export limitation. But if you use a third-party on-grid inverter, we can currently we cannot realize the power export limitation because we cannot control the output power of the third-party inverter. Yeah, but if the company they can share their protocol to us, and we can integrate their protocol into our data logger, we can also control this third-party inverter's output power. Yeah. So at that time, we can also realize the export limitation for the combination of Solinteg hybrid and the third-party on-grid. And this is a generator solution. We have talked this part before, so just skip it. And this is a paralleling solution. We also mentioned at the beginning, for the on-grid paralleling solution, we can support up to 10 pieces, which can extend the whole system up to 500 kilowatts. And for the off-grid, we currently support 4 pieces. And for the 10 piece off-grid paralleling connection, it will be realized in the end of October 2. And the next part is the work modes. Actually, we have 5 preset work modes in the application and in the inverter now. And the one customized work mode is under development. Let's talk about the already realized work mode one by one. The first one is general mode. So we can see this diagram, this graphic. In the daytime, the PV generation power can be used to supply the load, charge the battery, and the excess power feed to the grid. And in the evening, no PV power generation, so the power in the battery can be used to supply the loads. And in the if the battery is discharged to the SOC value, and in the late night, we will use the power from the grid to supply the loads. And for the peak load shifting function, also can be called a peak shaving function. This is quite useful in the country. They request the customer to sign a limited contract with a grid company for the maximum power they can take in from the grid. For example, if we sign a contract with a grid company for the maximum power taking from grid, like 10 kilowatts, and this time we have a 15 kilowatt load. So if we take 15 from the grid, we may be punished, or maybe the extra 15 kilowatts will pay high price rate. So we can use the power from battery to fill the gap of this 5 kilowatts. And again, in the evening, we come back home. We have a lot of loads working. We have a more load consumption, so we can use the battery to fill the gap again. The battery is fully charged in the daytime. Yeah, we can use the battery to fill the gap again. So this can avoid the customer to get punched from the utility company for taking more power from the grid. And this economic mode, this is quite useful for the countries. They have peak and valley price. Also in some countries they use dynamic price. We can send up to 6 periods of charging and discharging groups. Here we can see in the morning, we get up. We are using some load, so the power from the power in the battery may have been used up or reaching the SOC protection value. So the loads at this time will be supplied by the PV, and there's still some power in the battery. We can, so the battery's level is a little bit higher than the SOC value. So in this time, we can use the battery power to supply loads, and also the power from PV to supply loads. And in the daytime, we are not at home, so we don't have a lot of big loads connected. So power from the PV can be used to charge the battery to supply loads and feed it to the grid. And in the evening, the price may be in the peak value, in the peak price, in the peak period. So we can use the power charged in the daytime from the PV to supply our loads, to make sure the power we used is free, is from the PV is free. And so in the next day, in the morning, we can use a battery to fill to supply loads again. This battery power maybe we left here from yesterday, or maybe we charge from the valley hour in the night. So this can help the customer to optimize their electricity bills and increase the energy independence. And this is a UPS mode, and the UPS mode is usually used in the countries they always have the power blackout problem. For the country you don't have this problem, don't suggest you to use a UPS mode, because in the UPS mode, the battery won't discharge as long as the grid is connected. So at the first time your system is started, the battery will be quickly charged to the full percentage, and it will never discharge if the grid is connected. But when the grid fails, the battery will discharge to supply the loads with PV. So this one is usually used in like South Africa or Africa countries. They don't have stable grid supply. And this one is an off-grid mode. As I mentioned before, our inverter can use in the purely off-grid mode. So in the daytime, the PV generation can be used to supply loads and charge the battery. And in the night, the battery may be at a very high level. It can be used to charge the battery. It can be used to supply the loads until the next morning the PV started working again. So this is a preset 5 work mode we support now, and now we are working on a new work mode which we call the customized mode. This mode, the customer can make the combination of these 3 modes in one day. Yeah, for example, maybe they can light the inverter working in the economic mode in the night, and the general mode in the morning from like 8 to 10 a.m. and the UPS mode in some other time like 4 p.m. or to 6 p.m. You can design by according to your requirements. It's quite flexible. Yeah. And the last part, I want to share some installations we have installed in the global countries. Let's start from the UNICEF. This is the installation in China, Beijing, installed in the UNICEF. And we can see this is a 50 kilowatt hybrid inverter and 28 kilowatt hours Solinteg battery. Here we can see there are 2 racks Solinteg battery. And this installation has the following benefits. We can lower the electricity bills due to the optimized self-consumption, and we can also making profits by utilizing the peak value price through the economic mode. And we can also build a positive influence by implementing the green policy. As a UNICEF, it has a very positive influence to the others. And we can also establish, green energy concept for the children in the UNICEF. And this is a hybrid system we installed in the college in China, in Shanghai. It's also a 50 kilowatt in system with a 54.7 kilowatt. A 50 kilowatt inverter and a 50 kilowatt hour batteries from Solinteg. So for this case, customer also can save electricity bills, and students also can learn about more renewable energy from PV systems, and it's more eco-friendly. And it also can, installation in the school can lead others to use renewable energy as well. Some students may say, oh, there is a PV energy installation in my school. Maybe I can ask my parents also install one in our home like that. Yeah, and also can make profits by utilizing the peak value price. And this is an installation in Switzerland, Basel City. This is a very unique installation, and we can see there are 5 pieces inverter in parallel, and this system we used a recycled power battery. This battery is from the second electricity car or the electricity ships. So we can see there are 5 pieces who have the system up to 25 kilowatts, and the storage capacity up to 200 kilowatt hours. And this case, we can see they have the following benefits. First, because they use second-hand battery, so the investment is also lower compared with the new energy storage battery. And we can lower the electricity bills for the customer, making profits by sending multiple charging discharging circulations in the economic mode. Yeah, we support up to 10 periods, and also it's a innovative combination of recycled batteries. Yeah, this can make the the green energy greener, and also maximize energy independence. We have such a big capacity battery, so of course we can realize the energy independence. And this is a PV ESS and charging installation in Czech Republic, but currently the charging is from Tesla, and our inverter is installed with a Soluna battery. It's a 50 kilowatt inverter with Soluna's 30 kilowatt hours battery capacity. So in this case, we can also maximize the energy independence, lower the electric bills, And the car powered by the green energy makes the travel greener. And the UPS level switching over can ensure the high energy security for the customer. And in the near future, we support the dynamic power export control. So this can help the customer avoid additional costs due to exporting power to the power grid in the negative periods. And this is a installation in Ukraine. Yeah, we installed this in 2023. Yeah, in the war time. Yeah, so we can offer the reliable power supply for the customers in Ukraine, and increase their life quality because they have the electricity to use, and we can also lower their electricity bills. And this is the installation in Netherlands in a bakery style. So this installation have 12 pieces 40 kilowatt inverter in parallel connection, and they have connected battery up to 720 kilowatt hours. Here we can see there are so many batteries connected. The battery from Soluna. So with this installation, they can save electricity bills. Also, the customer not connect to any PV with this installation because they just use this as a PCS mode. PCS, yeah, they just use this to reduce their electricity bills and make more profits by using the peak and the valley price in their country. And they don't need to worry about the utility power blackouts for for some commercial stores. They don't want to face the power blackouts. So with this installation, they don't need to worry about for the power blackouts anymore. And last, I want to show some parallel connections for some house buildings in Czech Republic. Yeah, here you can see the all parallel connection. This is 2 pieces 15 parallel. And this is 4 pieces 20 in parallel, and this is 2 pieces 10 in parallel. Yeah, so this is the introduction for Solinteg's commercial energy storage solution and introduction. Thank you. So, Reinhard? Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Claire, for your extensive presentation. A lot of good information there. Regarding questions, I see there are 2 in chat, and I'm gonna read them out loud. So the first question is, what about control using Nord Pool electricity price? So we have...
Yeah. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Maybe you can finish the questions. Yep.
So there is Solax inverter manufacturer who has implemented this option for the Baltic market. And the question is, what can Solinteg offer?
Actually, we are also working on this function. Actually, we already get the access for the Nord Pool. Yeah, this is very easy to get. They selling the API to everyone. Yeah, it's about 4,000 euros every year. So we also talked with them, and our monitoring team now is working on the strategy of this function. After we get the strategy straight, we will start development. And I think the earliest time we can realize this function is Q3, because during my presentation I told you we are working on the 2nd generation release. So more energy was input in that part. So for some new functions development, maybe not so quick, but compared with other competitors, they don't have their own monitoring platform. performance is much quicker. Yeah, so we will have this function step by step. The basic step, as I mentioned in the presentation, dynamic power export control. This will be available in May, and the second step is in the negative price period, we can elevate the grid power supply priority. Because at that time, if you take power from the grid will give you money. Because the price is negative. So this is the second stage, and this can be realized around the end of the Q2. And for the third part, the very smart strategy for against the dynamic price from Nord Pool, this will be available in the Q3 around. Yeah. So we will develop this function step by step.
Okay, thank you. Question number 2. Optimizers. Does Solinteg have their own brand, or Tigos must be used?
Currently, we need to use Tigos optimizer. Yeah.
And the follow-up question regarding optimizers. Visualization of optimizers in cloud when they are not own product. So, for example, if you would connect Tigos to your inverters, visualization from the cloud platform, how would that look like? I hope I got the question right.
I understand the question. Yeah, I think the people may be concerning about if they use Tigos optimizer and a Solinteg energy service system, they have to go to 2 platforms to check the data. The PV generation on Tigos platform and the inverters on Solinteg. To be honest, currently, yes, they have to check the data in 2 platforms, but we also put the Tigos, we also have the Tigos API of accessing their data, and we put the development of Tigos integration into our multi-platform in our playlist. So yeah, it's time issue. We already put this in the plan list.
Yep. Okay. Good to hear that that's in the pipeline.
Yeah, in the pipeline.
Yep. Okay. That is it. I don't see any more questions.
Okay. If you don't have questions, maybe we can start. We can go to the monitor platform introduction. I think I can give a very quick introduction because this monitor platform will only use like 1 quarter. In the next quarter, yeah, we will use a new generation monitor platform.
Yeah, as there are no questions, please proceed. Yeah.
Okay. Can you see my screen? It's a dynamic flow chart, energy flow chart. Okay, let's go back to the login page. So this is the first generation Solinteg monitor platform, and we have the one web monitoring port which can use for the organization, customers, and also end user. And we support 8 languages now. And if the customer need more language to be added, we can also do that. It's quite easy. And we have 3 terminals here. For the customers in China, they usually use the China's port, and for the customer in Europe, they can use the European region port, and the other countries use others. Yeah, so this can allow the customer have the better experience of accessing data, and also for the high data security. Yeah, and these applications the customer can download here. This is for the remote monitoring application. And now let's log in the account. Here I will give you a present about organization account. So here we can see in the organization account, who will use the organization account is usually the distributor and the installer. So after they log in their account, we can see all the plants they have installed. There's the status of the plants and the name, address of the plant connection time, the current generation power, the production today, the production since installation, and the last the update time. And we can filter these plants by using these buttons. Yeah. By using these items like status, type, and the email, serial number, plant name, etc. And this overview page. In the overview page, we can have a overview for the for the system generation, and like here we can see this is current power and this today's power generation, and the total, and this is the PV installed, total PV installation, and this is the total PV generation. And here is the environmental contribution, and this is some columns for the power generation and the revenues, and the status of plants and the devices. You know, because we support a paralleling connection, so sometimes a plant may have more than one piece device, so this number is different sometimes. And this is power racking. Yeah, we currently can show up to 7 power rackings here. Yeah, and we can see our generation data in a monthly manner, yearly manner, or lifetime manner. Yeah. This is the overview for the first page, and here we can also change the language. And this is plants. In the plant, I just give you a brief introduction for this plant, for this page. And here we can click the name of the plant to get into the overview of this plant. So we can see this is the on-grid plant. We can see the PV generation and the grid output. It's quite simple because it's on-grid inverter, and some generations of this inverter, and the basic information of the plant, the address, the connection date, etc., and the weather forecast. And this is the PV power generation of the on-grid inverter. We can also check in the daily, monthly, yearly, and lifetime view. And this is a device list, so we can see in this plant, we only have one device connected, and this is a device serial number, and the device, they use a 4G connection. The device reach the power, firmware information. And here we can do some remote parameter modification of the device, like the country code, the fault reconnection time, the grid type. Also, the power limitation can be sent here, and the protection parameters. This is quite, professional. So this is not open to all the customers. Only for the bigger distributor or installer, they have attended our trainings. They are qualified as the people who can do this information, this kind of things. We will open the permission for them. And this is on-grid inverter, so the parameter is quite simple. Maybe I can I can send a hybrid inverter to show you. Let me have a look. We can check this one. Oh yeah, this is a hybrid system, so we can see, except the PV power and the grid power, we have the battery power, the load power. So this flow chart shows the PV power is sending power to the inverter, and the inverter sending power to load and charging the battery. And here we can see the PV power generation, the load power consumption, battery power, batteries charging or discharging. We can see that this value is minus or negative or positive. Yeah. And the grid power, we can check how much power we have set into the grid, also see value of the battery. We can also check this, check the history data of this part. And we can also view this data in a daily, monthly, yearly manner. And here is a pie chart. And this shows the power your system generated and how much percentage power used for self-consumption and how much exported to the grid. And here we can see this one is all used for self-consumption. So we can realize higher energy independence. And this is system consumption. So for this system, they consumed 5.6 kilowatt hour, and all the power supplied by this solar system, they didn't use any power from the grid. And this is device list information, so we can see the inverter serial number and this inverter's battery level. And this inverter uses Wi-Fi connection, the model of the inverter, the firmware version, and also we can do the parameter setting of the inverter. So we can select the country code, set the fault reconnection time, the unbalanced output. This function is not default open, and so if you want to use unbalanced output, you need to manually open this. Yeah, there are some other parameters you can manage or amend here. Yeah, so yeah, and we also support text function because in a hybrid system we noticed that many installers they made this mistake on the city installation. Sometimes they make the city's face connected in the wrong phase, or sometimes they make the city's direction in the wrong direction. So this is a very normal mistakes made by the installer. So we have this function. We can help the installer to detect if their city is connected correctly. And we can also remote start or stop the inverter. And next part is the management function of our platform. So we can manage the plant, like delete it or rename the plant, or authorize the plant to the others, to your friends, to your colleagues. And this is the basic information you can management, the installation information, the location, the electricity price. And we can also manage the device. Usually for the device management, we just need to edit the device name or set the device as a master or slave in the paralleling situation, because we support master-slave paralleling connection. So in that case, you must set one inverter as master and the others as a slave. So you have to set it here. And we also have alarm function. In alarm function, we can detect all the alarms appeared in your account. And we also have the analysis of the alarm and also status of alarm. It's solved or also solved, you can see here. And here you can check, or you can see the analysis of the alarm. And this one is very important for the installers or distributors. It's firmware upgrade. So we support remote firmware upgrading. This can save a lot of time for on the maintenance. As we know, for today's inverter, especially on-grid inverter, the technology is quite stable and mature. So they usually don't have a lot hardware problem. Most of the problem are software problem. So this this kind of problem can be solved by the remote firmware upgrading. So with this function, you don't need to go to the field to do the maintenance. You can save a lot of time and money on the maintenance. Yeah. So this is some very basic information, and if you have more inverter connected or installed, you can dive into the detail to check more. And as I said before, this platform will only be used like 1 quarter around. So we don't need to spend too much time on it. When the new version releases to the market, I think we can give you a detailed introduction for the new version monitor platform. Yeah. So maybe we can check with the attendees if they have any question about this part, or they want me to show more about this monitor platform.
So we do have
we
do have one question. What's the update time for the settings for the data to be sent to the cloud?
It's like 1 minute once. Yeah, the data uploading interval is 1 minute. 1 minute.
Yeah,
but,
so 60 seconds.
6 seconds. But the data we show on this curve is 5 minutes once, because we don't want the server to have too much pressure from the data, So let me show you. You can see every time interval for the data here is 5 minutes. So from the bottom, we upload data in every 1 minute, but show on the this platform is 5 minutes time interval. If the customer they require a smaller time interval, we can also adjust it.
Okay, thank you. No more questions in the chat.
Okay, so it's your turn to move forward.
Yes, I believe that we can move forward. Yep.
Okay. Let me stop the screen sharing. Sorry. I think my topic have been finished, so now it's time for QA, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So, do we have any more questions? I think we should use the time while we have Solinteg representatives, so we can ask whatever comes into our mind regarding the inverters.
Yeah. Current inverters are our planning for the future.
Exactly.
I saw one question on the screen. Is unbalanced output only for hybrid inverter? Yes, only for hybrid inverter. But our R&D has the experience of developing the unbalanced output on the inverter. To be honest, our company focuses on the hybrid inverter. We have a very wide power range for hybrid, but for on-grid inverter, we currently only have single phase, and the 3-phase 5 to 25 we just released it to the market. There's for very few months, like 2 or 3, like that. So we haven't got any request from the customer. They want the unbalanced output for the on-grid inverter. But if you have such requirements, you can report us, and we ask our RD to development it. Yeah, we have experience to develop the on-grid unbalanced output in on-grid inverter in our previous company. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Okay.
Yeah, then maybe just a comment from my side. So regarding CNI applications, okay, let's answer this question and then I'm going to continue. Does the unbalance function also works if the power is taken from the battery?
For hybrid inverter?
Yeah. Yes.
Can you repeat again the question?
So the question is, if unbalanced function also works from battery, I presume it means from when the power is taken from the battery, whether the unbalanced output function works.
Yes, 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 we support that. And even there is no battery connected in the system, we also support unbalanced output. Yeah.
Okay. And then a follow-up question from my side. So up to 4 inverters in parallel can produce unbalanced output, right? If it's more than, for now, it's not possible.
Yeah, it's not possible now, but in the end of the second quarter, yeah, we can support up to 10.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you again. And
thank you.
Note from my side. These hybrid inverters and possibility to connect them in parallel is quite useful one, especially if we talk about these 40 to 50K inverters. And if you connect, for example, 10, then in parallel it will be 500 kV, but in Latvia type A electric station is up to 499 kV. So if we connect 9 of those, so we can have a really nice CNI application which goes under type A generation plant, which doesn't need connection to SCADA, etc. So really useful scenario.
Oh, there is a requirement for that. If the system less than 500 kilowatt, you don't need to connect to a SCADA.
Yep.
But for more than 500, you need.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
So
good to know.
Useful applications for self-consumption and peak shaving, etc. For commercial plants, etc. So really good feature.
Is this mandatory or not mandatory for the SCADA connection for the project with more than 500 kilowatt?
Mandatory.
Oh, okay. See.
Yep. So that's from my side. So if there are any designers, so consider designing PV storage solutions with Solinteg inverters. And also a really good selling point for these inverters is that if you want to have PV plus storage solution, like larger storage solution for CNI self-consumption, we're talking up to 500, approximately 500 kilowatt hours of storage and PV. So you can have these inverters that combine functionality of PV inverter and battery inverter, and which is really useful. So you don't have to buy inverters from party A and then the battery with PCS from party B. So it's really useful. So single solution.
Yeah. And not an advertisement, but actually, I'm forgot if I introduced myself. I come from Solinteg Academy, and we actually developed a lot of solutions and introduction videos. Yeah, we uploaded this information on our website, Academy page. Yeah, if you are interested about that, you can go to Solinteg website, Academy page to see. Yeah. There are lots of solutions and installation of some introduction videos and documents.
Yes, thank you. So, anything else? Any questions from the audience? Okay, everybody's shy. No more questions. So I might say that is probably it. We can finalize. So from my side, I thank the presenters from Solinteg. It was really broad presentations with a lot of useful information. There were some points that even I didn't know, so a very good job. And I believe that this presentation provided some clarity regarding what Solinteg is as an inverter and what kind of features it has on its arsenal. So take it for installers, take those into your consideration and consider Solinteg as a good hybrid, especially hybrid inverter solution.
Thank you.
Maybe any final words from Claire and Jaroslav?
Yeah, maybe thank you for all the attenders for attending on this webinars, and I hope that in the future you will use the Solinteg inverters, and if you have any questions in the future you can contact us directly, or me or Claire or Kaspars. Yeah.
Okay, then thank you very much, and see you the next time when we will have probably live training here in Riga.
Okay, thanks. See you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.